In this session, students will be introduced to PHP, also known as Hypertext Preprocessor. The session begins with an overview of what PHP is and how it has evolved over time into one of the most widely used server-side scripting languages. Students will learn about the key milestones in PHP's development. From its early days in 1994 as a simple personal home page tool created by Rasmus Lerdorf to the advanced and powerful PHP 8.0 version used today. This lesson focuses on understanding how PHP has grown through various versions such as PHP FI, PHP 3, PHP 5, PHP 7, and PHP 8, with each version bringing improvements in performance, speed, and functionality. The session also highlights the major enhancements in PHP 8.0, including the introduction of the just-in-time JT compilation feature, which significantly improves the execution speed of PHP programs by compiling code during runtime. Students will also explore the new features and uses of PHP 8.0, such as improved error handling, new data types, and attributes that make development more efficient. By learning these concepts, students will gain a clear understanding of PHP's evolution, its core advantages, and its role in building modern web applications. The history of PHP dates back to the year 1994 when it was first developed as PHP FI, Personal Homepage Forms Interpreter, and over the years it has become one of the foundational languages for dynamic website development, powering millions of websites across the world. PHP is a widely used open-source general-purpose scripting language designed primarily for web development. It allows developers to create dynamic and interactive websites easily. One of the key advantages of PHP is its flexibility. It can be embedded directly into HTML, making it convenient for web developers to integrate server-side logic with front-end design. PHP scripts can also be executed from the command line and used for developing graphical user interface (GUI) applications that are platform-independent, meaning they can run on different operating systems without major changes in the code. PHP's popularity comes from its simplicity and versatility. It is beginner-friendly for new programmers while still offering advanced functionalities for professional developers. It operates efficiently on the server side, handling complex web tasks like form submissions, data processing, and content generation. PHP supports multiple operating systems, including Windows, Linux, and macOS, which makes it accessible to a wide range of developers. Another major advantage is that PHP is free and open source, available for download from its official resource. The features and uses of PHP are numerous. It supports integration with many popular databases such as MySQL, Oracle, and MS SQL Server, enabling developers to create database-driven websites and applications. PHP can also dynamically generate and manage different content types such as HTML, XML, PDF, and CSV. Writing programs in PHP is fast and straightforward, which helps in reducing development time for applications. Furthermore, PHP is compatible with several powerful frameworks like Laravel, Zend, and CodeIgniter, which help developers build secure and efficient web applications. Overall, PHP's ease of learning, cross-platform compatibility, strong community support, and wide range of features make it one of the most reliable languages for web development today. PHP scripts are widely used in three main areas: server-side scripting, command-line scripting, and writing desktop applications. Among these, server-side scripting is the most popular and common use of PHP. It requires a PHP parser, a web server, and a web browser. The web server must have PHP installed and configured, and when a user accesses a PHP file through the browser, the PHP code runs on the server and returns the output as HTML to the user. Developers can even test PHP locally using software packages like XAMPP, which simulate a web server environment on a personal computer. This makes it easy for beginners to experiment and learn PHP without needing an online hosting server. Today, PHP is compatible with multiple operating systems including Linux, Windows, macOS, and several Unix variants. It supports many popular web servers such as Apache, Nginx, IIS, and LightTPD, giving developers flexibility in choosing their setup. PHP works efficiently as a CGI processor or as a server module. Some of the world's most popular websites and applications, such as Facebook, Wikipedia, and Tumblr, are built using PHP. This demonstrates PHP's reliability, scalability, and ability to handle large-scale web projects efficiently. PHP also allows developers to choose between procedural and object-oriented programming, or even combine both styles according to the project's requirements. In command-line scripting, PHP can be executed directly from the terminal without using a web browser or server. This mode is particularly useful for running scheduled tasks or automated scripts through cron jobs on Unix or Linux, or the task scheduler on Windows. For example, PHP can be used to process data, back up files, or send automated emails without any user interaction. PHP can also be used to create desktop applications, although it is not the most common choice for that purpose. While PHP is mainly designed for web development, it can be combined with tools and libraries to build applications with a graphical user interface. Additionally, PHP can generate output in various formats like HTML, images, XML, and PDF. It can automatically create text-based files, such as XHTML or XML, and save them in the file system for future use. This flexibility makes PHP an all-around tool that supports multiple types of projects, from web development to automation and content generation. PHP supports a very wide range of databases, which makes it simple and efficient to build database-driven web applications. Developers can easily connect PHP to databases like MySQL, Oracle, PostgreSQL, or Microsoft SQL Server using built-in extensions. This ability allows PHP to handle tasks such as data storage, retrieval, and management, which are essential for creating dynamic websites. For example, when building an e-commerce site, PHP can be used to store customer information, process orders, and display product details by interacting directly with the database. In addition to database connectivity, PHP also supports interaction with many network protocols and services. It can communicate using protocols like LDAP, IMAP, SNMP, NNTP, POP3, and HTTP. On Windows systems, PHP even supports COM and .NET integration, allowing it to interact with other applications and services. Developers can open raw network sockets to exchange data and create custom network-based applications. PHP also supports WDDX, Web Distributed Data Exchange, which enables data exchange between different web programming languages. Moreover, PHP can instantiate and interact with Java objects, increasing its versatility and compatibility with other technologies. Another major strength of PHP lies in its powerful text processing capabilities. It supports Perl-compatible regular expressions, PCRE, which make it easy to search, match, and manipulate text efficiently. PHP provides numerous tools and extensions for working with XML documents. It can parse, read, and write XML data using extensions such as Simple XML, XML Reader, and XML Writer. These features are particularly useful in web services and APIs that use XML for data exchange. Additionally, PHP continues to evolve by adding new extensions and functionalities, many of which are documented in the official PHP manual. Examples of such extensions include debugging tools like Xdebug and libraries for advanced data handling. To help understand how PHP works, consider the simple code example shown in the image. The code snippet demonstrates how PHP can be embedded within an HTML document. When this file is executed on a server with PHP installed, it processes the PHP code. PP echo, hi, I'm a PHP script, and outputs the result directly into the web page as plain text. This example illustrates PHP's core concept. The server executes PHP code first, and then sends the resulting output to the user's browser as standard HTML, making it a powerful language for developing interactive and dynamic websites. It is generally recommended for beginners to start learning PHP directly from version 8.0 because it is the most advanced and optimized release to date. Starting from PHP 8.0 helps new users avoid migration issues and compatibility problems associated with older versions. PHP 8.0 offers improved performance, cleaner syntax, and several new features that make development faster and more efficient. A common question for beginners is how PHP differs from JavaScript. The main distinction lies in where the code is executed. PHP is a server-side scripting language, meaning that the code runs on the web server before the content is sent to the user's browser. In contrast, JavaScript is a client-side scripting language, which means it runs directly in the user's browser. When a PHP script runs, the server processes the code, generates HTML output, and sends that HTML to the client. The user only sees the final web page, not the PHP code itself. This makes PHP secure and ideal for handling sensitive operations like database queries, form submissions, and user authentication. JavaScript, on the other hand, is executed on the client side, inside the user's browser. It can manipulate elements of a web page dynamically, but cannot interact directly with the server or databases without the help of additional technologies like Node.js or APIs. This difference in execution location is what separates server-side and client-side scripting. With PHP, developers have the option to configure the server so that all HTML files can include PHP code, allowing the server to interpret and execute them seamlessly without exposing the source code to users. The section also introduces enhancements in PHP 8.0, which was officially released on November 26, 2020. PHP 8.0 brought major upgrades to the language's engine, improving both speed and functionality. The update included new features, syntax improvements, and a more efficient way of executing code. One of the most notable improvements was the just-in-time JIT compiler, which made PHP scripts execute faster by compiling parts of the code during runtime. These enhancements made PHP 8.0 not only more powerful but also easier and more enjoyable for developers to work with, marking a significant milestone in the evolution of PHP as a modern programming language. PHP 8.0 introduced several powerful new features and improvements that make the language more modern, efficient, and developer-friendly. Some of the most important additions include union types, match expressions, the null-safe operator, enhanced error handling, and an improved type system. These changes were designed to enhance performance, increase code reliability, and bring PHP closer to the standards of other advanced programming languages. Union types allow developers to specify more than one data type for a function parameter or return value. This helps create more flexible and safer code by clearly defining what types of data a function can handle. The match expression is similar to a switch statement, but is more concise, supports expressions directly, and ensures exact matches without type coercion. The null-safe operator helps prevent errors when working with objects that might be null by safely accessing properties or methods only when the object exists, avoiding undefined or null reference errors. Another improvement is in error handling and consistency across the language. PHP 8.0 introduced better type checking, consistent error messages, and a unified system for managing exceptions, which helps developers debug and maintain code more effectively. These updates collectively make PHP code cleaner, more predictable, and more consistent across various platforms and applications. One of the most developer-friendly features added in PHP 8.0 is named arguments. This feature allows users to specify only the required parameters of a function and skip optional ones. With named arguments, parameters are identified by name rather than position, making code easier to read and maintain. For example, in older versions like PHP 7.0, developers had to pass all parameters in the correct order, even if some were not needed. In PHP 8.0, developers can call functions using parameter names directly, making code more self-documented and order-independent. Additionally, PHP 8.0 introduced attributes, also known as annotations. Attributes provide a structured way to add metadata directly to classes, methods, or properties using native PHP syntax instead of external documentation formats like PHP doc. This makes code cleaner and more maintainable. For example, developers can use attributes to define routes in a web controller or specify serialization rules for objects. Overall, the enhancements in PHP 8.0, such as named arguments, Attributes, union types, and improved syntax have made PHP faster, safer, and easier to use, marking a major evolution in how developers write and maintain PHP applications today.